The big one is back in Baton Rouge. The Larice Motorsports Insurance CHAOS Cajun National. Friday and Saturday, April 19th and 20th at the historic State Capitol Raceway. Mind-blowing supercharged funny cars, flame-scorching jets, a wheelie standard, gassers, and more. Kids 12 and under are free, and every ticket is your pit pass. Get more info at funnycarchaos.com. Race fans, you know what to do. April 19th and 20th. Be there.
That's absolutely correct. You're going to want to be there down in the capital, Louisiana, Baton Rouge. What a great show it is each and every time. Third time coming up for us in CHAOS. And David, by the way, folks, take your phone, take your electronic device, hit like and share on CHAOS Live, as I'm doing now.
Yeah, let's do that. And coming off of this big event that we just had at the Texas Motorplex, going down to Baton Rouge, that's going to be a blast. That's one of the best fan bases, as they bring some enthusiasm when they come in the gate. And of course, why wouldn't you? We're looking forward to getting down there and doing it for the third time. And you know, Larice Motorsports is great. Motorsports Insurance is a great host, and we can hardly wait to get down there. But Lee, 80 pre-entries for our event at the Motorplex for the Funny Car CHAOS Classic plus Nitro CHAOS. And I tell you what, I don't know how long it took you to get rested up from that event, but not like you had much time, but but it was crazy good.
It was crazy good. Speaking of the rest part, no, I'm still not rested up. I'm still recuperating. I think Saturday I hit the sack at 3 a.m. after wrapping up everything, file transfers, things of that nature. And what a good show, though. What a good show. So many highs, so many lows, twists and turns. And, you know, it's these events, especially the Classic in particular, so many times it does not turn out the way you think it's going to turn out with the people that are entered. And interestingly, I think Kevin Kinsley and the War Wagon, they came in 2 years ago and just had an abysmal Classic. They win the A field last year in Funny Car CHAOS. Now they do it in Nitro CHAOS. Really, honestly, the most successful team at the Classic that we've had, I would think, or at least that I can think of.
Yeah, Bill Bernard has had considerable success there too. But when you kick off your Funny Car CHAOS Classic career, so to speak, with hey, look, we got somebody from Australia tuning in. Hey, man, glad that you're here. We have so many people from across both oceans that join us on CHAOS Live, and actually in person at the event this past weekend, there were quite a few people from, Scotland and United Kingdom, and I don't even know where all else. But anyway, Kevin Kinsley talking about the War Wagon. I mean, their first appearance at the Classic was going for the quarter-mile record for AA fuel altered, and they remain the world's fastest fuel altered. And man, they did not hurt their cause any at all. In fact, I think they may have reset the world record for fuel altereds on elapsed time and speed in eliminations there. So they had a stellar weekend. And now I was looking, we had no brand new winners in Funny Car CHAOS. Of 4 classes, everybody had already won an event before, and but not necessarily at the Classic. But in Nitro CHAOS, all 3 winners, A, B, and C fields, brand new winners in Nitro CHAOS competition. And it just shows to go you how much the competition is really close. And we've got so many hitters that are coming in. But everybody that's been racing Nitro CHAOS, which is not a whole lot of folks because this is only the 3rd year, but man, well, I guess this is the beginning of the 4th year that there has been at least one. But oh wow, it was wound up and ready to go. Our 2023 champion was the first guy to chime in here, as Gary Wheeler's always in the chair checking out everything on Nitro on CHAOS Live. But what I mean, Lee, from the time they unloaded and the first cars going down the racetrack, we had an unofficial test day, a private test, then we had the official day of testing, and through race days, it was don't you dare miss it, because you might miss something absolutely incredible. There was just a lot of that.
There certainly was. All throughout the two CHAOS brands, you have Joey Haas coming in with Nimrod, and they know how to get that car down the track. Won the B field last year in Funny Car Chaos at the Classic. Throwing his hat in the ring now, say, hey, I'm going for a championship in Nitro Chaos. And I'm sure that the Nitro Chaos competitors, well, they took that on note and said, oh, we've got a stiff competitor for this championship in 2024. You have Mitch King. What's he going to be able to do with that car rolling out of Kevin Kinsley's fabrication? The bone bucket back out there in competition. We saw him take it all the way to the final round in the A field of Nitro Chaos, and the C field. Who was going to be those competitors in Nitro Chaos? First ever C field for that brand, and we had some stellar competitors there. What a great mixture for Nitro Chaos, from those that were heritage legal to those that certainly aren't heritage legal or legal anywhere else, but they're legal in Nitro Chaos, running 80% minimum and up of the juice. You go over to the Funny Car Chaos side, and you are looking at people like Tom Purchase, Kirk Williams, Shane Lawson to perform well. And yet this event, I almost feel like, is not the official start to the season somewhat. Like, really, like when we get to Baton Rouge, you start really seeing how points and how the storylines may in the year go, because we have some people show up and show out who don't show up throughout the rest of the year. And Tom Purchase goes out early, defending champion of Funny Car Chaos. And with the Sportsman ladder, that was fascinating to see how that played out. Round one, Shane Lawson, Kirk Williams, something I think we're going to see for the rest of the year. Dogfight, big dogfight, round one. I already like what we're getting with how things have been tweaked in the Chaos.
Yeah, it definitely threw a new wrinkle in, and one of the things that coming out of this event, just exactly like you said, Ennis is probably going to be the drop race for quite a few of the competitors that in preseason prognostication was they would be favorites for a 2024 championship. But several going out in the first round, going out in the semifinals, and then one of those preseason favorites experiencing a problem with the blower that may have them sidelined again in 24 like it did in 23. And of course, I'm talking about the penny pincher. And, it's all those supply chain issues and parts issues. Those things are much, much better, but those problems have not gone away. And so in order to replace pieces that some of the competitors are going to have to do it may keep them sidelined, and that'll just add drama later on in the season. But Baton Rouge, with all the competitors who are going to be there, who intend to pursue the championship, now that's where it's really going to get kicked off. And, we'll see after the unofficially, I've got the, let me tell you about Chris and Tara Graves. I was talking to him about an hour ago, and I said something about the points, and they said, no, we've been doing payout today. You know what? If I'm a racer and I'm looking for points, or I'm looking for my check, I'm thinking that I'm really glad that over at Chaos World headquarters, they're taking care of the payout today. And so, points will be out probably tomorrow. And but unofficially in Funny Car, and that's all I've got, because I did my ciphering. And it looks like Bill Bernard is unofficially in first place, 1 point ahead of Chuck Loftin, who's 1 point ahead of Jade Cook, who's 1 point ahead of Nick Polson. So it is a tight battle at the top right there, just early on. And it looked like Doug Schneider and Sheldon Lofgren tied at fifth. Colin Thomas, how about them coming out with that Twisted Sister? and looks like they're in 7th. Levi Keenan and he and Eric Strandberg's Illinois Thunder look like they may be 8th. Now, there's some others that I didn't get to that because I was just looking at some of them that I knew would have a good chance of being near the top of the heap. So that's not the be-all, end-all list. That's very unofficial. But we've got some good things that are going to break loose at Baton Rouge, and really looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Hey, you got the winners, so we can kind of do a run through on those.
We do. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with Nitro CHAOS.
All right, Nitro CHAOS. We're going to go to the C field.
Okay. Yeah, a first-time competitor. This was one of the things that we talked about. Not only some first-time winners, but quite a few first-time competitors in both Funny Car CHAOS and Nitro CHAOS. And so this team with Wade Pennington coming in, they ran a 4:12 in qualifying, but they began to strut some of that 3-second horsepower in the first round and then the final round, going as quick as 389 with a 5. And so for them to come in here, they got the win over Mark Hunter in the final. But it was really a great field in that Dunn Offset Mags and Stamps Family Farms Texas Motorplex C field. And then in the B field, hey, this is what you were talking about there earlier, the Heritage Legal car. And it's got the big number 1 on it from the Heritage Series. Tyler Hilton comes in and had that car running between 375 and 383. And most times down the racetrack, it was the old bracket racer analogy, 380, 380, 380. They had that car running exactly what they wanted it to run. And they wind up with a ticket to the final round after getting a win over Michael Anderson in the first round and John Umloff in the semifinals, and advanced against Chase Copeland in the side-by-side 3-second match in that CP Carrillo B field in Nitro CHAOS. And then over in the A field, the McKinney Motorsports A field, there they are, the War Wagon. They have been in front of that tower with a winner circle photo before last year when it was in funny car trim. So Kevin Kinsley, as we had a pair of AA fuel altereds going at it in the final round, and Kinsley got the win and also joined the 340 club, the Dove Fuels 340 club, as we added 2 to the 340 club this weekend with the 340s, series of 340s run by the War Wagon and the 333 and a bunch of 340s run by Joey Haas. Over on the funny car side of things, in the Texas Motorplex D field, we started looking, I began to look at that car and I saw the screen and it said Jade Cook. And I'm like, wait, is that not Chance Biffle? Well, it was not. So the centrifugally supercharged machine, the Nemesis, evidently they broke that. They took the Bad Intentions Corvette and put Jade in the seat, and she did what Jade does. She goes 425, 424, 424, and parks it in the winner's circle with a final round win over Colin Thomas and the Twisted Sister, as that team out of Colorado, the Thomas family, man, they had a really good debut in their Funny Car CHAOS career, being runner-up in the Texas Motorplex D field. In the Wolf Pump C field, we wound up, and you can see a couple of our guests tonight as a big double-up for the Loftin racing team. Chuck Loftin getting a win over Sheldon Lofgren. And Sheldon Lofgren has this is not his first CHAOS race, as we saw them out in Albuquerque, but that twin-turbo Hemi qualified number 1 in the Wolf Pump C field at a 4:06. Got around Chris Schneider in the first round and Joe Morrison in the semifinal. And Chuck Loftin gets a win over Sean Murphy in the first round and Wayne Hoffman in the semi with a 3-second run there. And after all the struggles they had, and we'll talk about that in the interview, but they get themselves into the winner's circle. In the Alky Digger B field, funny cars, Nitro Nick, the other guy in that picture right there, the other crew in that picture, qualified number 1 in the B field, they came out strong early with a 377, beat Smiley Cordero in the first round, beat Mary Reap in the second round, and in the final round took out Levi Keenan in a side-by-side 3-second showdown. Keenan got the win over Ray Stringer in the first round, and they were really looking forward to racing Mike Newkirk because they're family friends and been around a long time together. But Mike was fouled out on that one. Keenan gets to this final round, and so Nitro Nick wins the B field. And in the Rodak A field, another one of the Colorado cars. They do so well here at the Texas Motorplex. Bernard qualified number 3 with a super sweet 365. Got around Chris Crable in the first round with a 368. Goes another 3.6 second run over a broken John Hale in the semifinal, and gets around the Milliken Monster in the final round in a very good matchup. All Colorado all the time in that deal. Schneider got around Ronnie Young in the Blue Max in the first round and took out Kirk Williams in the semifinal. So nobody backing into the winner's circle or in the runner-up spot there. And so those were your 7 winners in your Funny Car Chaos Classic plus Nitro Chaos. So congratulations to all those teams. And I'm telling you, the racing was outstanding in every sense of the term. Great job by everybody involved.
Certainly was, David. And as I look, this funny car on the back of that body, I see a big B&J Racing Transmission sticker with the A field winner.
That's right, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about. And we've got the owner and brand new major sponsor for the Chaos, for all things Chaos. Steve Macklin is going to be coming up, and we're going to get a chance to talk with him about his company, about his business, about his racing. We'll be right back. We are back, and we are with Steve Macklin. Man, we are so glad that you could take a little time, and we appreciate you joining us very much on Chaos Live.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here, and definitely happy to be a part of the Chaos series and be a sponsor. You know, we had a call the other day from a customer who was running another brand of transmission and said, I was sitting at the Chaos. I had a broken transmission. I heard them advertise you. I'm giving you a call, and I think they're going to end up buying a trans. So it's worked out really well for us.
That's a great start, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, I tell you, you have got a great reputation, not only as a manufacturer for your company, but as a drag racer from a long, long time. So when people are wondering, does this company, does B&J Transmission, do they really know about what I go through? I'd say you know about it probably as well as anybody that could possibly be in the business.
Well, yeah, you're very kind there. B&J's been around since the late 60s. Bob Batten started it in California. Mike Strasburg, who the Strasburg family's huge in drag racing, brought it to Utah in 2000. And I actually just purchased it in 2023. And so we have a great lineage there. It's just, I've learned a lot about it, been a part of it since Mike brought it up here. And it's really just my job not to mess it up too bad. So, but we run our own stuff in our alcohol funny car. As you saw in the video there a moment ago, we have a bunch of customers that run the Chaos. Bill Bernard that won, Doug Schneider that runnered up in the A field. They're all customers of ours, and we're really happy to have them on board. And it's people like that help us keep striving to be better and be better. The biggest thing that we try to do is provide the customer service that people would desire to have. our product is there. It's been there forever. It's just providing the service and making sure that everybody's taken care of, and we're doing our best to do that.
I was noticing that one of our other Chaos racers, Dan Butheris, gave y'all very high praise because he was needing something, and he said, "Man, Steve said I'm coming that direction. Can I just bring it to you?" And you did, and that's not something that happens every single time, but the fact that it can even be an option indicates that your commitment to customer service is exactly what our racers would need. Our 2023 champion Tom Furchess, our 2022 champion Kirk Williams, all using B&J Racing transmissions. So the pedigree is very high, and the amount of recommendations that a fella could get or a lady could get from the CHAOS group is certainly very strong. Now, you got an alcohol funny car and decided to go 8th mile racing intentionally, on purpose, and it's worked out kind of well for you, as you took a championship in the Midwest Drag Racing Series Top Alcohol Funny Cars in 2023. That had to be quite a year.
Yeah, it was great. We were very fortunate. I mean, I can't say that, we were at every race. We worked really hard to be a part of the series, to be there at every event. My sons, Mark and Ryan, my friend Jerry that goes with us, we spent a lot of time, but we had a lot of good fortune as well. We chose to do an 8-race series, chose to do the 8th mile racing because we're more competitive there than we were when we were running the NHRA against some of the bigger teams. And so, we're really happy with the way last year turned out. We're hoping to continue with that success, and it's just fun to do it as a family, and that was why we kind of jumped in with the CHAOS. I see a lot of family. I mean, you watch not only the backup girls and guys, the families that are working on their car. I think that's where it's really about, and just the impact that the CHAOS has made on the funny car community, giving everybody a place to race, and that's why we jumped in there as a sponsor. We hope to come over and race at some point. It's just time off work for my sons, and budget and everything just kind of keeps us focused where we're at. But we appreciate the mention, and we appreciate you putting out there that we did as well as we did, and we're going to try to keep that up for 2024.
Excellent. Yeah, I had noticed when I was doing a little research on you guys that family's a very big deal to you. You've got your boys there with you, and you guys win and lose together, and you've not just, that's not a recent thing. You've been having them at the drag strip since they were toddlers.
Yeah, I've been a single dad since they were very, very young, so 20 years now, and I've raced all sorts of things: monster trucks, oval track, bobsleds, you name it. And they've been there since the beginning. I used to take my oldest boy with me on the road in the semi, and it's been a big part of it. And it's really the reason I continue. I drove a Nitro car years ago on the IHRA. I've worked on Nitro dragsters with the Strasburgs, driven all sorts of different things, and actually drove for Jack Harris in a nostalgia funny car for a couple of years. And then I just stepped away from it, and we were in Denver at a event on Father's Day weekend, and on the way home, my oldest boys mentioned, she says, "Hey, Dad, we should get a car again and do it as a family." And they've always been there with me, but in a lot of cases, they were just too young to work on the car, and now they're 25 and 28. So we jumped in 2017 and really worked hard to try to make it a family event, but we also focus very hard on putting forth our best foot when we go to the starting line. And they have come along. My youngest takes care of the car, makes sure everything's all right. My oldest is working on tuning the car. We have a little help from Jeff Pierce on some of our tuning. And, I used to do a lot of that myself, and now I get to just do the bottom end and drive and hang out and enjoy the time with them.
Well, I've been able to see from some videos that you guys definitely enjoy the time together as a fact. Now, is Performance Bearing, that's also your company?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Okay.
Performance Bearing was a vendor for us, and Performance Bearing is a manufacturer of ceramic bearings, and so we offer an option to people to upgrade all the bearings in the transmission to ceramic. And Jack and Sandra Wilson, who started that company, are still involved. They just decided they didn't want to do the day-to-day stuff, so we purchased the assets and brought it up here the end of last year, and we're just trying to fill the big shoes of Jack Wilson, who started the company. And so it's been a very very good thing for us. It's been a big learning curve, but we threw that in with the CHAOS, and John Gardner, who as well as does the marketing, and Chris have been just so accommodating for us that we came in last minute. They didn't get banners and stuff until Thursday of your most recent event, but they got them up for us and took care of us there. But Performance Bearing, if you need bearings for anything, whether it's a go-kart or drag race, anything of that industrial application, give us a call and we can talk more about that down the road. So both B&J Transmissions and Performance Bearing are happy to support the CHAOS.
Well, we're excited about that, and to have you as the official racing transmission, as the official bearing of Funny Car CHAOS and Nitro CHAOS. We really hope to see you at an event, perhaps one time this year. We would like to. Have you been to a CHAOS race before?
I haven't, and it's sad to say that, but I've actually been following it since it started 6-7 years ago, and we've liked what they were doing. I mean, I even had thoughts back in my head years ago to do what Chris did, just because I loved CHAOS, funny cars, and I remember some of the big shows that used to be down in Arizona, the 64 cars fields, and in that. So it would have been great to do it, but we followed it, and we're definitely planning on it. Every year we pull out the CHAOS schedule, we pull out the Midwest schedule, and we look at it. And my oldest just had a brand new baby, my first granddaughter, a little over 3 months ago. My youngest is pretty busy. The Jerry Osler, who goes with us and does so much for us, is works. And so we just had to look at the schedule and pin it down to basically 8 events. And but we're definitely going to do that. We want to be a part of it. We want to come and be racing side by side with all the customers that we have in the CHAOS, and we just want to experience what it's like to be there. So we definitely will be at a CHAOS in the future, and it's just a matter of time.
Well, congratulations on becoming a granddad.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, man. I keep talking to her every time I see her. I keep talking to her about driving down the road. I'm not sure how mom feels about that, but we'll see. I know my oldest son is definitely a part of it, but I'm very, very happy. She's a beautiful little girl named Lola.
Lola. All right.
Yeah.
Well, your story, quite a few things in your story. One reminds me of the Nitro Clown Bunch in Kansas. Joe Gallegos. They were in racing for a while. They stepped away for years, and then young son comes along and says, "Hey, Dad, we need to go racing again." And it sounds like you guys have a similar story. And the young generation says, "Hey, Dad, let's get a car again," and that's kind of fun. And by the way, you don't have to drag your race car to CHAOS to come on out and enjoy it. No. We would love to just welcome you guys and let you experience it. We want you to compete. Don't get me wrong, but we want you to come and kind of get that whole vibe and let us have a chance to shake hands and welcome you as an official sponsor and one of the newest members of CHAOS Nation, because it's very, very exciting to see someone dynamic like you and your family going out there and racing, making things happen, and providing some quality services in terms of transmission and bearings and all the other items that you have there on your website and that you make available to the racing community. So we really would love to see you come on out, and it would just be an honor to welcome you there.
Well, I appreciate you extending that offer, and we'll take advantage of it for sure. And we're looking forward to it as well. I mean, I like being at the drag strip. I always say it's a fun place to be. It's hard to sometimes be in the stands when you're a racer and watch other people race, but it is fun to be in the pits and talking to people and and just visiting with the families again that are there. I mean, everybody's putting their heart and soul into this. And, I've been around a lot of different types of racing, and drag racing, in my opinion, is the most family oriented one that I've seen, just because you see it every car that goes down the track at the CHAOS or in even some of the other series. There's just a family involved, and it starts that way. And kids can race from early on, and we definitely want to be a part of it. But we will be at a CHAOS event, whether we bring the car or not. So I'll promise you that.
Well, that's good to hear, and we will very much look forward to welcoming you there. Appreciate you taking some time to join us. To everybody out in CHAOS Nation, I mean, they're the best in the business. They are B&J Racing Transmissions, and they have got the championships in the trophy case to back up the claim that they really know what they're doing, and we're thrilled to welcome them aboard. Steve, we're going to let you go, but thanks again for being a part of it. We will look forward to seeing you at the CHAOS. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Steve Macklin, and owner of our newest major sponsor and the official racing transmission of all things CHAOS, B&J Transmissions and Performance Bearing. Now, we're going to take a little break, let you get a word from some of our other great sponsors, and we're going to come back with a team that got 2 wins in Funny Car at the Funny Car CHAOS Classic. Hang around, and we'll be right back.
Driven Racing Oil's GP1 Nitro 70. Trusted by top engine builders, winning racers, and devoted horsepower enthusiasts across the world. Driven takes legendary base oils, such as the ones from Brantford, Pennsylvania, which comprise our GP1 line. Then, we boost that superior base oil with state-of-the-art additive packages. Driven's GP1 Nitro 70 not only provides anti-wear protection, but can shield cylinders from washout and fuel dilution caused by methanol or nitro-based fuel. Learn more about Driven Racing Oil by following us on Facebook or Instagram at Driven Racing Oil, or shop now at drivenracingoil.com.
We are back on CHAOS Live, and we have got some friends that we have been looking forward to seeing for quite a while. I see Nitro Nick on the other side of the screen. Hey, man, glad to have you here. How you feeling?
What's up, David?
I mean, has it sunk in yet? You got to win, but Chuck got to win too. It was a twofer for your team.
We put it together, and it's just really cool how things worked out. We've been running this Funny Car CHAOS program for, I think, since it started, and we just had a good time. So we came into this year with a lot of good things in place. With the bucket list car, my car, we just said, well, we're going to keep what we had and try to enhance it just a little bit. And that's what we saw. I ran a little bit better than I have in the past. We had a great qualifying run. We had a great eliminations run. And, oh, my goodness, it ended up in a win.
Yeah, it did. And, this is one of those deals. You've always been a part of a trivia question for another reason, but now it's for a different reason. And you are now y'all want to pay attention to this because it might get you some free stuff at the races sometime. But who is the driver that has won every final round that he has been in Funny Car CHAOS competition and has more of those wins than anybody else? The answer is that'd be you.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. You have been to 4 final rounds and you've won all 4. And the first one was in Amarillo in 2018, and that was a wild day, man. I'm telling you what, that was one of those deals that we were all trying to get used to trying to get used to the track, and the weather happened like it did up there. And so, but you got that one. You got North Star in the B field in 2019. Then the next year in 2020, you got the A field at Mocan. And then it's been a dry spell, but you got the B field at the Texas Motorplex at the Funny Car Chaos Classic. And so a guy who's yet to lose a final round, when you get there, it seems like it's all about Nitro Nick.
Well, if anybody's going to bet, get me in on it. Okay.
You'll bet. You're not somebody that will bet against yourself, right?
That's right.
Well, it was good to see you and Deb at the races, and she always does such a great job backing you up, and your crew. Man, it was exciting to see that 377 out there. We don't always know what's going to happen when the car comes to the racetrack right out of the trailer, but man, you guys looked like you were been there before, and we're ready for action this time.
Well, we've got to back up a little bit in the whole qualifying scenario. And our first pass on Friday, you were sitting there in the tower, Dave. You know this. The car left really good. I happened to be right against the team owner, Chuck Loftin. He was in the other lane. And, man, the bucket list left really good. And the steering wheel came off of my hand. and I'm going, why did this happen? Okay, first thing, the helmet's right there. You can't see where to put it back on. So I tried one time, and I said, no, I got to get this car stopped. So ended up just grazing the wall, bent the headers a little bit, but didn't touch the body, didn't do anything. And we know why that happened. I was putting some additional safety stuff on for 2024. And I had the steering wheel off, and the snap ring just didn't quite seat where it was supposed to seat. So I always check it when I get in the car. I always rattle it back and forth. But apparently the strength that I used to rattle it back and forth wasn't the strength during this pass, because it was on a great run. And so anyways, that happened. So we came back in the evening, and just we had our plans. We didn't change anything from the first run. That was what we had in the car. And it just whistled on down through there. Now, one of the neat things is, we went 377, so that's a little bit faster than the bucket list has been in the past. But we also gained some mile an hour. We went to almost 205 mile an hour, 204 point something. And that's the first time this car in the 8th mile has been over 200 mile an hour. I've got a handful of 198 and 199 time slips, but 200, that really felt good.
Well, when it's on a good run, they say they say it feels good, and so you definitely got a new experience there with your first over 200 miles an hour. And with that, then we've got Chuck Loftin joining us. Chuck, we are celebrating with you guys about the big double-up win. So congratulations to you and the team.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. That was a pretty neat deal. I don't know if that'll be duplicated anytime soon, but I'm glad we were able to do it at the Motorplex, and Nick got his first 370 at 200 mile an hour, and everything. It was just the stars were lined up for us that weekend, and just couldn't do no wrong. Everything worked right for us.
Well, you say that, Chuck, and you're rather modest. It didn't really start off with all the stars lined up, right?
Well, I don't want to go back to that history.
I don't blame you.
Man, we did struggle, boy. I had a good guy come into the trailer Friday. He backed me up to a corner with a hammer, and he told me if I don't back that no good down, he said, I'm going to hit you with this hammer. You back that thing down when you can get down the track. And I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. And we did.
Well, whatever it took, whether it was the strong language or the hammer, what you guys did made it. I mean, it was right down the middle every time. I mean, you could not have charted that any better. And so you wind up getting yourself your third win. We're talking about Nick has got 4 of them, and he's undefeated in final rounds. You've actually been to 6 final rounds now. and you evened it up at 3-3, having won at Amarillo in 19 in the B field, and Penwell in 20 in the A field, and then got this one here at the Motorplex. So all your wins have come in Texas, and this one was excellent. You after all the challenges of the last few years, that had to feel really good to be able to hoist that trophy.
Well, it was really good. Like I said, we did it at the Motorplex, hometown, our home track, I guess is what it is now. And, I didn't answer the phone all day Monday, and everybody finally started getting a hold of me. I said, I've been on cloud 9. I didn't have any reception up there. I couldn't talk to anybody.
I can believe that. Boy, that was really good. Now, from the standpoint of some other things that were going on, Angie and Skylar both doing backup girl duties there. That was an added feature for your team this weekend.
Yes, it was. Having your daughter and your wife back you up, usually they're arguing which way they want to go, but they did it both the same way, so I didn't have to go back and forth trying to find which one they wanted me to go to. So, no, they worked very well. I really enjoyed it. You couldn't write a script better than what happened this weekend.
Well, it was really good to see. And now you had your sponsors there, did you not?
Yes, Gary Meyer was there, Myers Elgin Sausage, and he was just beyond himself. And we're standing there getting ready to take our pictures, and I looked at it and said, Gary, this doesn't happen every time, so you don't get used to it. We're going to try, but it's a little tougher than what it looks like.
Well, yeah, it's a long old road, but seeing those two cars in the winner's circle together with all those smiling faces, it was really a good deal. And to see you both on the entry list for Baton Rouge as you're going to be going down there. This is unofficial, but it looks like y'all are number 2 and number 4 in points. So a lot of teams are going to drop in us, but I don't think you guys are going to be dropping in us. Those were some great performances turned in.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Nick's car is really, it really showed some good promise. There's a little left on the table I think we can go after. We made some changes in the last couple of days in the fuel system, and I think that's going to help us in Louisiana. And at my car, we're just going to change oil and put it back in the trailer and go down there and don't touch it, because if I touch it, they're probably going to get after me about it. So we're just going to leave the toolbox in the trailer and unload it and go racing.
Yeah, everybody that believes that, go ahead and stand on your head. But hey, Nick, you were going to say something.
Yeah, David, going to Baton Rouge, and you said this last year, we talked about it, but Deb and I lived in Louisiana for a period of time. And during that time, we were both racing. We had Super Gas and Super Comp cars, and we spent almost every weekend at the State Capitol Raceway up in Baton Rouge. So got a lot of friends there. Last year when we were there, they all showed up. So it was like old home week. It was a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to it again. Just like Chuck said, we've matter of fact, we smelled some nitro today. We just we worked on the bucket list and lit a fire in it. I think it's ready. So we're going to head that direction, and we are looking forward to just another great performance. We are just going to try as hard as we can to continue this success. We got both cars running good. We got a great team, and we're looking forward to just having fun.
Well, that's rule number 1, and you guys are certainly very, very adept at observing rule number 1. And it's even more fun when you get to celebrate at the end of the night like you guys did. Hey, one of the things that people keep asking about is Chuck, is about the Firebird. And it's like we haven't seen that for a while, but we hear it's in Indiana. Anything you can update us on?
Yeah, I do have it at Murph McKinney's shop. We tried to run that car quite a bit last year, and Murph was working with us trying to get it down the track, and every time we throw some clutch at it, it'd blow the tires off, and then we'd take clutch out of it, and then it would shake the tire. And So November, he said, I really don't know. And I said, well, why don't we just stop right there and let's put put some new pipe under it. He said, let's do it. So I took it up there and it's in his hands now. So we're hoping in the next several months we get a new car back with the Pontiac body on it and new technology and, try to, where we're able to throw some power at it. The Mustang's pretty old and, we'll probably retire it when we get the Pontiac back, and I'll put it in my one-car museum and cover it up. That was my first funny car, and we'll just retire it. But the Pontiac's going to be, I hope it's going to be a handful.
Well, we certainly hope it will be too. And that's one of the stories that, since you started in Funny Car Chaos, there's a lot of folks that have become part of Chaos Nation and really don't know the story about the first time when you showed up at North Star Dragway and we were all going, who is this guy? Because you showed up pretty impressive, at the first deal. And we're like, how have we missed this guy through the years? Well, we hadn't missed you. You weren't racing funny cars. Tell us that story.
Well, when my daughter decided to quit playing softball, I decided I wanted to get back into racing. We quit racing when she was growing up doing softball. So anyway, Angie and I have been talking about buying a nostalgia funny car. So the Mustang come available and we bought it, brought it back to the house, took it apart, got familiar with it, put it all back together and was going to do some heritage racing with it. And a guy named Eric Eoff called me and says, hey, why don't you do the Chaos deal? I said, well, what is that? He goes, oh, yeah, it's a good series they're starting up, and the first race is in Denton, Texas. I said, oh, okay, well, let's go try it. So I didn't have any headers for the car. And a friend of mine on Facebook posted we were looking for headers, and it wasn't 2 seconds. Clay Cunningham responded. So we called him, and he had them, and so he said we'd meet us at the races with him. So we go up there with a car. We ain't even fired yet. And with no headers, and we get up there and told Bubba, I said, I just met him. I said, hey, this is my first time out. Can you let me run by myself? Because I'm not real sure. He goes, oh, yeah, no problem. So I did, and it took off, and it just kind of labored out there. And wow, that's all there is to this thing. It doesn't really run very well. And I said, man, I got back. Angie asked me, what do you think? I go, well, I don't think we're too good. We might load this thing up. And I looked at it. I said, oh, now I know what I did wrong. Well, I forgot to put it back in low gear. So it took off in high gear and it didn't want to run. So the second time trial, it ran really good. And I think it ran a 422 or something like that. And qualified number 7. And I went, man, I won't be number 7. I'm going to be number 9, but we got to run A field, and we run Kevin Kinsley in first round with the War Wagon. And I went to do my burnout, and the throttle cable broke. And so I was fixed to climb out of the car, and they pushed me back and said, stay in, pushed me back. Then I seen Kevin smoke the tires, and I went, I'll be damned. I could have won my first round if my car would have gone down the track. But that's how it started. We got into that, and had some pretty good times with it. It all seemed to come kind of easy there for a while, and then all of a sudden it didn't become easy. And boy, I fought for a couple of years now, chasing bad parts, bad chassis, and everything else you can imagine, and stupid decisions. Well,
it was an impressive debut, especially since it was your very first time. And I've always remembered that because we were scratching our heads going, who is this guy? Well, but he's still with us and he's still winning, and he's been to 6 final rounds. Now, Nick, your career, like you mentioned, you've been racing a long time from, I guess, from Florida to Louisiana to Texas, and I don't know, every place else that you've been, and, past champion in Outlaw Fuel Altereds, and you've got quite a history. Let your real fans already know, but there's a lot of new folks. Bring us up to date on some of your racing exploits.
Well, I appreciate that, David. Thank you. And we had a lot of fun. Starting down in Florida when Deb and I met, and living down in Florida, I was bracket racing and had some pretty good successes. Moved to New Orleans and we built 2 cars, and we had several cars for Deb, several cars for me. Super Gas, Super Comp, enjoyed that. I did a little stint doing Top Alcohol Dragster with a partner, Charles Marquez, if you remember that, the old, urban flyer car. David, do you remember him out from the West Coast?
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
All right. Well, he moved to San Antonio, and we were partnered for a while. So, but anyways, with the fuel altered, man, did we have some success. And what's interesting, you were talking earlier about how, and I didn't remember this, I'm undefeated in Funny Car Chaos final rounds, but in the fuel altered versus Pro Mod special race, and they did that for a number of years. And I'll always remember this. I am undefeated in the fuel altered versus Pro Mod races. Now, the Fast 2 always went to the final. So, as we did the elimination round, I was undefeated, but I was always like 100th or 200th right behind getting to the final. But again, got the win. And one year, I think it was 2017, we made it to the final, and we won things. So we won the fuel altered versus Pro Mod, stayed undefeated in that series. And that was quite an achievement right there. I'm still proud of that.
Well, as you should be. That 2017 year, that was the year you won the Outlaw Fuel Altered Association, and you won the Pro Mod versus Fuel Altered Showdown. You guys had that Sundown machine singing the right song. It was a very successful year and a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he should have been where I was sitting.
Oh, well, no doubt. No doubt. That's probably the best seat. I'll keep my seat, and you keep yours, and we'll keep doing the things that we like to do.
Well, it's always fun, and every now and then I get a chance to come up in the tower and do a little bit of color commentary with you, David. So I'm looking forward to doing that again sometime in the near future. Well,
and that invitation remains open. I know folks like to hear what you've got to say as you bring the driver's perspective to them over the public address. So we're very excited about what has happened at the first race of the season for you guys. Very, very impressive performance in all ways. And I know that, you're going in with the points. You're not in the points lead, but you're right up on top, nearly there. What's the plan going into Baton Rouge?
Win. Just win.
All right.
Well, I got somebody else to talk about that. I think, we don't ever have team orders, but if it happens, look out.
Well, Chuck, you did get a win last time we were in Baton Rouge, so you're going in there as a defending champion.
Well, if you think about it, the bucket list has won the last 2 times it went out. I won, and now Nick's won, so it's looking really good right now. It's got a winning record.
Looking for that trifecta.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming on tonight and letting us hear your stories and letting us celebrate with you. I mean, for those who've been around Chaos for a long time, they've seen you race, they've seen you win, but for some of them that have come along in the last year or two, this was their first time to get the full experience of Loftin Performance racing, getting in the winner's circle. And man, you guys did it in style with 2 cars in the winner's circle. Congratulations to both of you and to your families and your teams. We appreciate you being on tonight.
Well, I just want to circle back around one time really quick, David.
All right.
Thank you to Chuck and Angie Loftin. They are the patriarchs of Loftin Performance Racing. This is a team. This is fun. We're having a great time. We're all friends, and we're looking forward to just having continued fun in the Funny Car Chaos series.
Well, I know that go ahead, Chuck.
I like that picture you just throwed up there. That is pretty awesome. Even if it wasn't us, I think that's a pretty awesome picture.
Yeah, I agree. It really is. And so that winter circle celebration is one that you guys will remember for a long, long time, as will a whole bunch of us.
Well,
again, thanks.
I'd like to thank some people real quick, Dave, if I could.
You
know,
bet. You
they're
bet.
the only ones that helped this make it happen. Like I said, Gary and Greg Myers of Myers Elgin Sausage. They and Mike and Ricky Daly stepped up a whole lot for us for that race. And got to thank Angie, got to thank Skylar, thank the crew. They've stayed with me through the thick and thin stuff. And everybody knows we have struggled for a while, but I knew that it was coming. I just never gave up. And then once we finally calmed the car down and it just started picking at it, it started coming back around. And we're feeling really good about it. All the commercial diesel employees that we have, let me and Angie and everybody go do this. And while they manage the shop, you can't do it without them guys. The Funny Car Chaos family out there, I feel just right at home when I'm in the pits with all them people. I mean, it makes you want to, when you get home on Monday, you're ready to go back on Tuesday. You get a day off, you're ready to go back. So, but thank everybody. Thank you for great commentary that you do. And maybe we'll give you a little something to talk about this year.
Well, I tell you, you've got things kicked off in a good way, and we're very excited to see what happens in Baton Rouge and as the season goes on. We'll see you guys in Baton Rouge, and again, thanks for being here.
I enjoyed it very much so.
Thanks, David.
All right. We have got one more segment, and we will come back and we'll wrap up the show, as we have had some great interviews with some terrific folks tonight. So hang on. We'll be right back with our last segment.
Spell Paving Services provides professional customer service and performance for your next industrial or large-scale private paving project. From parking lots, roads, and driveways to seal coat, chip seal, concrete, and asphalt, there's no job too big for the team at Spell Paving Services. Serving a 500-mile radius from Dallas-Fort Worth, Spell Paving Services has you covered. Call 214-384-3056 to get a competitive quote today and tell them the Chaos sent you.
Well, David, it's certainly great to see the Chaos growing and marketing partners. I loved before the show, I got that story from Steve of someone hearing over the PA, you announcing as great as you do and plugging those sponsors. Hey, they got a phone call, let me get one of your transmissions. And so cool to, on the top end, get to interview Nick and Chuck and that team and seeing the struggles that they have gone to, especially last year. I was able to follow Chuck, not just Chaos, but see him sometimes in the nostalgia series that's traveling with the NHRA, in particular Bristol. Man, did he have troubles with that Pontiac everywhere he went. So it's good to see him and Nick get a win.
Yeah, you like to see good guys win, and that's certainly a couple of good guys right there. And we're rooting for everybody that runs in Chaos, but it certainly doesn't hurt anybody's feelings when a good guy wins. And those guys have paid their dues, and it was good to see them get that struggle. It's one of those things that I was just now thinking about. I'm not sure that it wasn't the very first Chaos Live, and I think it was Ken Singleton and Chuck Loftin on the very first Chaos Live, and they were on it and I wasn't. And but I'm not even sure that episode lives anywhere anymore, but I think they're the ones that first got it started on Chaos Live. But man, what a joy it is. What a blast to get to spend some time with some of our guests, with you, Lee, and with all of our friends out there in Chaos Nation. It is really fun that we get to do what we do with the caliber of people that we do it with. There's going to be other announcements that come up this coming week. With each week that passes, so many good things are breaking loose. And we want to express appreciation to John Gardner and Barbara Gardner and for all of our CHAOS folks. There's a lot of folks that do some things behind the scenes that, we really don't get the chance to see them until it's announced. But, there's a lot of moving parts that are bringing this organization now coast to coast. And we've got some great things to do this coming year. So thank you, Lee.
And I want to extend a thank you to Randy Young, James and Kathy Armstrong, the stream. Thank you to those that stepped up and provided. Definitely Copeland Race Cars provided heavily into that. The stream went very well. And in fact, I'm amazed. The chat was going on for each and every stream that was over the weekend, and they were quite understanding, possibly the most understanding chat I have ever been a part of, that when we explained to them that, hey, the audio's down a little bit because we're trying to not capture the music from the DJ that the Texas Motorplex has, and that just creates a lot of issues on YouTube and monetization. They were like, oh, okay, well, thank you for the stream. And I was very shocked by that. But honestly, other than some very minor technical difficulties that didn't take away from the overall streams themselves, it went flawless. And we had great camera angles, we had great shots, we had content to cover tractor time, and it was all put together with your announcing that's done so well, and it was a great stream. Last count, I counted 75,000 views. I think we're above 75,000 overall for the weekend. And I think that does show, one, the popularity of Funny Car Chaos, and it also shows if you're out there listening and you've got a drag racing promotion, you don't have to have someone to carry your platform for it to become visible. You can, in fact, do it on your own. And I will say that we were able to have 75,000 viewers overall on the weekend, with it being a big weekend in drag racing and in streaming. You had the Flings, they were being streamed as well. You had PDRA, it was being streamed. You had NHRA in competition, and obviously NHRA.TV in the national broadcast. So to pull 75,000 plus, I am very pleased. To everyone that watched, that liked, that commented, that just enjoyed, thank you.
You bet. We really want to be able to bring this to folks. There's nothing like being there, and I think that everybody that was at Texas Motorplex would back me up on this. There's really nothing like being at an event in person. But there are so many folks that live hundreds and even thousands of miles away who can't actually come to the race. If they get a chance to come once or twice a year, it's a bonus, and you're invited. Come on. We hope to be able to bring some more live streams. It's not something that's ever far from our minds, and I don't have anything to announce on that right now, but I do hope that will be something that we're able to continue to do at certain races throughout the season, because it matters to us that we get a chance to reach out to you and involve you in it. In the intimate way that live streaming does. So it was a great weekend, and we've got another one coming. We'll have another CHAOS Live. I think the next one is going to be the Wednesday after Baton Rouge, and that's what the tentative schedule has. And we hope to be able to bring you another group of interviews and give you some great results from the event down at State Capitol Raceway. Well, Lee, what else you got for us?
Well, I'm just going to end with Tony German's comment question to something I've wanted to see and was tied up all weekend. Missed the whole thing. Well, don't worry. The good thing about YouTube is the live stream is there, and you can watch it back, and you can skip forward if you need to beyond certain segments. And also, I am working on the official recap, which will abbreviate everything and give the highlights from the weekend as well. And you can also make sure you're following along on Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos on Facebook, and also the Instagram page as well, and YouTube, because you'll also see shorts or reels of the action highlighting what took place at the Funny Car Chaos Classic.
Well, friends, we thank you for being a part of it tonight with us. We will look forward to the next time we get to see you on Chaos Live, or if we get a chance to see you live and in person at the racetrack. It'll be a joy and something that we would really love to share some time with you. So for now, we'll bid you a fond farewell. Hope you have a good night and a great week. Be good to each other, and we'll see you at the races. Good night.
The big one is back in Baton Rouge. The Larice Motorsports Insurance CHAOS Cajun National. Friday and Saturday, April 19th and 20th at the historic State Capitol Raceway. Mind-blowing supercharged funny cars, flame-scorching jets, a wheelie standard, gassers, and more. Kids 12 and under are free, and every ticket is your pit pass. Get more info at funnycarchaos.com. Race fans, you know what to do. April 19th and 20th. Be there.